Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting of the Buxton Planning Board for Tuesday, May 27th to order. Next on the agenda is a Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda is a public hearing for an application for conditional use for Todd Libby School of Taekwondo, 400 Narragansett Trail, map 10, lot 1.2, 1+2. Chair will entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Scott, second by Craig to open the public hearing. Discussion? All those in favor? Be 4 with 1 absent. Mr. Libby, could you go to the podium and briefly just give us a quick review of what you're planning on doing?
Yeah, hello, I'm Todd Libby. I'm working at opening a school for Taekwondo next to Auberson Hardware, 400 Narragansett Trail. Going to be, hours will be, we figured 10 to 7, Monday through Friday, or Saturday. Like I said, I've been teaching martial arts, Taekwondo specifically for the last 16 years. Had a few students with me for a long time. Looking at opening there for the better visibility, better view for people going by, better location, size-wise, everything. So, hoping everything goes all right.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Questions or comments from the board? I'll start with you, Craig.
One question, how are you guys making out with the sprinkler system?
I believe Gabor is working something out between the fire chief and there's something to do with the number of tenants, I guess, too, which affects it. The tenant in the bottom might be leaving very soon, which will change.
Okay,
So that's what he's hoping is going to happen, so I can get in there sooner.
great.
Yep.
That's all I've got, Jerry, for you.
Okay. Heath?
I'm going to, I have no questions at this time.
Okay. Scott?
So if the other tenant leaves, then in theory, the building doesn't need to be sprinkled.
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you. Yep, are you doing 10 to 7 or 10 to 8?
I
always thought 8 last time.
I think 10 to 8, correct, yes.
10 to 8.
We had talked a couple different hours, I had it all.
We did. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, 'cause typically in the evening, the first class is 6 to 7, then 7 to 8 for the second one.
I think I'm all.
Any comments or questions from town staff?
The only comments I will have are 3 conditions that I suggest.
Okay.
Do you want them now or after you?
No, you can read those 3 conditions if you would like.
The first one is the creation of a third use at this property requires the entire structure to be sprinkled prior to occupancy being issued for the third use. So that takes care of
Yep.
the electrical deficiencies in the use below this must be corrected and inspected prior to occupancy.
Okay.
Uses require occupancy, inspection, and permit prior to opening. That's been a confusion for some previous conditional uses before, so I want this to be a standard.
Yep.
What was that again?
Any use requires an occupancy inspection and permit prior to opening.
Okay. And does anybody else have any additional conditions? Okay. Would any of the abutters like to speak? Would anybody in the general public like to speak? Okay.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second?
I have a motion by Scott and a second by Craig to close the public hearing. Discussion? All those in favor? Be 4 with 1 absent. Okay, is the board ready to move on with the standard conditions of approval for conditional use, along with the 3 additional items that the code enforcement officer has provided? Okay. I'll read the standard conditions of approval. All elements and features of this application, all representations made by the applicant concerning the development and use of the property which appear to be the record of the planning board proceedings are conditions of the approval. No change from the conditions of approval is permitted unless an amended plan is first submitted to and approved by the planning board. Number 2, that the applicant be in compliance with all applicable provisions of Article 8.2b and 10. Number 3, that the applicant be in compliance with all applicable provisions of Section 11, if applicable. Number 4, all outstanding bills paid before a building permit is issued. And number 5, others, which, do you want to read those again? Or we're pretty confident we have what you said? It was if more than, if the,
The creation of a third use at this property requires the entire structure to be sprinkled
okay,
prior to occupancy. Electrical deficiencies in the use below must be corrected and inspected.
okay,
And the use requires occupancy inspection and permit prior to opening.
okay. Does the board have any additional conditions?
So so right now there are 2, this will be the 3rd.
2, what do you mean?
And I believe the electrical was taken care of. I don't know if it was inspected or not, but the problem was fixed.
Right. But right now we have Aubuchon in the unit beside them that's still currently there.
Yes.
Right.
So he would be the 3rd.
He would be the 3rd.
So he can't move in until it's sprinkled.
Or
Well,
somebody,
you can't open, right?
So that should be part of the condition.
yes,
Isn't that the first one I read?
that's the first one she read.
Yeah. You think that will be enough?
The creation of a third use at this property requires the entire structure to be sprinkled.
Is that sufficient?
I think so.
I don't want to say this use requires it, because if the uses change and there are only 2,
Right,
it's not required to be sprinkled.
right,
If you think it's gonna cover it, I'm fine.
okay.
Because he's applying for a 3rd use right now, which is 3.
So if we condition it that he has to sprinkle it, there's no going back from that. That's why I said the creation of a third use. It makes it so he doesn't have to come back.
Okay,
Fire chief is okay with it.
all right. You all set, Scott?
Yeah, so you just can't move in until
Until
they're gone.
the building is sprinkled, or there's only
Or
2,
bottom tenant moves out, right?
Yeah.
2,
And you'll be verifying that.
Yeah,
You're gonna verify electrical anyway.
and occupancy for this applicant.
right.
Okay. Heath, you all set?
All set?
Craig?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm good.
We'll move on to the motions for conditional use. Based on the previous discussions, we find the application to be in compliance with all applicable provisions of Article 8.2b, 10, and Section 11, if applicable. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by myself, second by Craig. Number 2, motion to approve the application with the conditions stated this evening and from previous meetings.
Second.
Discussion, all those in favor? Did we do the first one? Did we vote on the first one?
No.
Okay, I'll read that again. Based on previous discussions, we find the application to be in compliance with all applicable provisions, Article 8.2b, Section 10, and Section 11, if applicable. Discussion, all those in favor? Before, 1 absent. Okay, let's vote on the findings of fact. Do the findings of fact reflect the condition that if a third unit is occupied, it has to be sprinkled?
Let me check, I'm not sure. But they will be added, if they're not, they'll be added before you sign them.
Do we want to wait on the findings of
No.
fact? Or do you
No.
want us to proceed?
Because we're supposed to have them within 7 days.
Okay,
So if, yes, those 3 are in there.
okay. On page 4,
Page 4, yep.
okay. The board want to look at those?
I don't have any, Jerry, in my packet.
There was some extra stuff given to you, Craig. There's some stuff in front of you that wasn't
Oh.
part of your,
It is.
Okay.
I have it.
Okay, yep. Okay, the motion, Chair will entertain a motion to approve the findings of fact for Todd Libby School of Taekwondo, 400 Narragansett Trail, map 10, lot 1+2. Excuse me?
I'll make a motion to accept the finding of fact.
Do you have a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Scott, a second by Heath to accept the findings of fact for Todd Libby's School of Taekwondo. Discussion? All those in favor? Before? Did you raise your hand?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. 4 in favor and 1 absent. Okay. You're all set. Obviously, you cannot,
Right, right. I'm still just in there working on it and doing stuff. Like I said, he'll let me know what the outcome of that is, so.
yeah. Well, as soon as you or the landlord knows what's going on,
Should I have him contact you guys, or should I?
you should probably, Patty, how do you want to proceed?
Probably the landlord should, because
He owns the property.
Right, it's his responsibility for the
Yeah.
other stuff. Okay,
Okay?
sounds good.
All right, is there a website, or how can people contact you, or if they're interested in taking classes?
I should have brought some cards, and I have some cards out in the car. I'll bring some back in.
Okay,
I will be having a website. I was kind of waiting to find out how things were going before I
Yep.
threw too much into it, so, but definitely. And then, of course, the signs I plan on hanging
yep,
under the Abishan and on the building have
Okay.
have the school's name and the phone number.
okay.
So they'd be
Is
able
there an address for that on the sign or not? Or
to,
just have the
it
phone
just
number?
says Libby School of Taekwondo and my phone number.
Okay, okay.
yeah.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
There's a bulletin board in the hallway there where you can, for community people to put business cards. So you-
Okay.
If you want to tack them up there. you can go
Yep,
from
I'll
there.
bring some back in.
Yep, okay.
thank
You're welcome. Next item on the agenda is Tanner Goody from Spago Technics. Excuse me if I pronounce that wrong. For Gary's General Contracting, Berry Farm Subdivision Amendment, 81 Berry Farm Road, map 9, lot 23. Good evening.
Hi, my name is Tanner Goodine from Sebago Technics. I'm here representing my client, Gray's General Contracting, on this subdivision amendment, the first subdivision amendment for the Berry Farm subdivision. The subdivision was recently recorded and approved by the planning board in November of 2024. But this is the first amendment that we're proposing to the subdivision. The nature of the subdivision is to include an access easement over Lot 2 to access Lot 3. Previously, the driveway was shown from Long Plains Road, accessing Lot 3 on the right side of that lot. Due to state permitting and crossing that stream on site, it felt better and more feasible to access on upland rather than over the stream within Lot 2. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Okay. Questions from the board? I'll start with you, Heath.
No, everything looks fine to me.
Okay. Scott?
No, so the applicant does have an approved permit for this drive now?
Yes, it was required to have a Natural Resources Protection Act permit by rule for activities adjacent to that stream. We also permitted it under outfall pipes, just to put 2 driveway culverts in to make sure it drains. But that permit is approved.
It is approved?
Yes.
That's something we have here?
Yes, I believe so. If not, we will absolutely provide a copy. But we provided the acceptance from DEP as part of the application.
Could you put on the plan for that drive, it shows it, but can you identify that's an easement to lot 3?
Identify the easement.
So on the drive, so you show the easement going from lot 3 to Berry Road.
Yep.
Can you identify that it's an easement to lot 3?
Identify that it is an easement to Lot 3.
Yeah, otherwise how would somebody know what it's for. It'd be very similar to like what you did for Misty Lane at the top, easement.
Yep, I see what you're saying.
This would probably just say easement for lot 3, or some type of notation like that.
Yeah, we can absolutely add that. The meets and bounds, the boundary lines of the easement are included on the easement curve table, but we can absolutely add that note.
The gravel parking area and fire hydrant, is that town property, is that, I know we talked about that before, it was gonna be noted as an easement for the town. That can get put back on there.
Sure, yeah, I think that sounds agreeable.
And then just for future reference, Tanner,
Sure.
any questions? They may be non-applicable, but please explain why.
Okay,
It's not just non-applicable.
sure.
I don't know if anyone else wants them to be filled in, I think I was kind of okay, but just FYI. I think that's it.
Craig?
Nothing at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Has the square footage from lot, was lot 2, been deducted for the easement?
It has, yes. On the note below the table, it's deducted from there.
Okay. And is there a copy of the deed for the easement across lot 2?
There's a draft. There's a
draft,
draft, yep.
And then there were some questions from the fire chief. Have you contacted him and spoken to him about his concerns?
No. I've talked to Patty on this. The pond, our intentions are to dig the pond deeper and put a fire hydrant in. And that'll be done when the road is built on Misty Lane. And if prior to that, Lot 6 would be the only one that would be affected prior to that, because we got to build the road to get to Lot 5 and 7. But prior to that, if Lot 6 decided to build before then they'd have to sprinkle. So
Okay.
that was the contention that we had the last time, and that's the solution that we came up with. So
Okay.
if the hydrant didn't go in, then all of them have to be sprinkled,
Yes.
so.
You did receive his email dated May 22nd?
Yes.
Okay.
I had a question on the hydrant.
Yeah, go ahead, Scott.
What's the elevation difference from the pond to the top of the road?
Well, currently, Scott, the pond culvert has failed, so that all has to be taken out. And at that time, we're gonna dig the pond down. Not sure how deep we're gonna go, but we'll make sure it's deep enough to satisfy whatever the fire chief needs for water for the hydrant. So I can't give you an elevation because, like I said, it's down low now because of the leakage of the culvert.
Well, I guess where I was going was draft, pulling water up the head, assuming the fire chief knows and how much head his pumps can
Yep.
draft up. And
Yep.
he's
Well,
looked at that.
We'll know better once we start digging and pulling the culvert out and see what we can get for a water level. And we'll have that designed by a professional for the hydrant. And I'm assuming the fire chief inspects that?
Yes.
Okay.
It's his bailiwick.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other additional comments?
I'd like to ask one question regarding the, you're looking for an easement to fire hydrant. Currently, I mean, there is none.
Is it on lot 2?
It's on Lot 2, yes. And I've offered to give up a little more property down there if the town would like to have a little more parking area, because every time I go up and down that road numerous times in the course of a day, usually there's several vehicles parked there, so if the fire truck showed up, they wouldn't even be able to get in.
Well, they would move their vehicles.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, there's more room there if the town wants to take some trees down and improve the parking area. I don't have a problem with that. I just gotta need to know how big easements do would you like?
You should probably contact Chief Schools. I would assume during a fire emergency, they'll park the truck in the middle of Berry
It
Road
is a parking road.
Sure,
and close the road down.
yeah,
So I don't know if they need, I would contact him and see what his feelings are.
sure.
'Cause
Yeah, I'm
he's-
fine to wait till we do that lot 2 as well.
Yeah,
As far as-
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
Got a little ahead of myself on that one.
Well, that's okay, no, I just want to make sure you got enough room.
Yeah.
You know, it's land that's not going to be used by anyone else other than the
Yeah.
fire department, so.
and that's very nice of you to offer that to the
Yep.
town, but let's maybe
Yeah.
talk to the professionals and find out exactly
I thought I was.
space they need, but I don't know. Like I said, I would assume if there's a fire on that road or in that area, that the apparatus will park anywhere it wants and pump the water.
Oh, I
to
get
where
that,
it goes.
yeah, yeah. I'm just trying to make sure they got enough room if somebody wants to go put a canoe or boat in next door at the pond, that they're out of the way and,
Yep,
you know. And that gets used quite often for the,
for the pond.
people, putting the grass seed on lawns, hydro seeding.
Yep.
They'll pump out of there and I
Yep.
don't know, Splash might be pumping out of there, I don't
Full
know,
water.
yeah, so.
Do you have any suggestions,
On,
the size, or,
no.
I don't.
I'll talk to the fire chief
Yep.
and, Kevin and find out what they'd like.
Okay,
Yeah, as long as they want to cut the trees and do it, they can,
yep,
we'll make it work.
I'll leave it up to them.
Yep.
Okay. How does the board want to proceed?
Could I have a comment?
Yes,
Make a comment? Can we talk about section 13.6, performance guarantee?
yes. Does the board feel we need to have a performance guarantee for this driveway?
No.
For, not the driveway, for Misty Lane and the hydrant, and or, well, it's gonna be a hydrant or sprinkle, right?
Correct,
Okay.
yep. I'd like to address that if I may.
Yes,
I can't build Lot 5, I can't build Lot 7 until I put the road in and complete it. And when that happens, Sebago Technics will come out, inspect it, certify it, send a letter back to the town. So I think the performance guarantee is a moot point because I got to build it anyway and it's going to be paid for.
No, I agree. That's why I didn't mention it during the submission, that it's a private road
Yep.
for 1 to 2 buildings. It's not a subdivision road.
Right, it's a private drive.
Can I make a comment about that?
yes,
Every subdivision road is a private road until the town accepts it.
right.
What if the town doesn't accept it?
This is not going to be, it's even noted in the plans that it's.
It's an improvement. I don't think we should pick and choose. The ordinance does not say all improvements that are intended to be public have a performance guarantee. It says all improvements.
But it's not going to be public.
The ordinance doesn't say all public, all intended public roads.
All intended public roads,
It says all improvements.
okay? But does it say public roads?
No, it does not.
Okay.
So you're suggesting the fire pond should be,
Part of it, and Misty Lane.
and the what?
Misty Lane. It's a required improvement.
Well, in my viewpoint on the fire pond anyway, is you can't put a house on until the fire pond is built. If they don't build it, then they can sprinkle it, so the fire pond becomes a moot point at that point. I know this is a subdivision, but so if I was to put another, if I was able to put another house on my lot, I'd have to get a performance bond to build another drive to that house. I don't think that's something we really want to require everybody, but
It's not everybody, it's everybody who does a subdivision who has required improvements that 13.6 requires a performance guarantee. If you split your, you're comparing apples to oranges. If you split your lot and have to do a driveway, that is not a subdivision that goes through the planning board.
But section 10.1 talks about access roads.
Correct.
For lots 1
Does it
and
talk
2.
about performance guarantees in section 10.1? It does not.
Right, so, and this is only serving 2 homes, which is under section 10.1. I mean, that's the way I looked at it when I,
So we disregard Article 13 when we,
It's still a subdivision road.
yep.
it's still.
I say do the performance guarantee. He'll have the road in no time. Get the money back.
I mean, it's like the easement for lot 3.
That's a driveway. A single driveway. That's not a required improvement. The people that do Lot 3 are gonna probably build their own driveway. That's not part of the subdivision, it's a driveway. I'm just trying to get us to treat everybody
No, I hear what you're
the
saying.
same by the ordinance.
But I guess I kind of see this as, drive is really for lot 7, and lot 5 is taking advantage, is gonna have a driveway off
Misty Lane?
of Misty Lane. I guess that's just kind of the way I looked at it.
Heath, what are your feelings?
I understand what Patty's saying. I mean, it kind of makes sense.
So I'm gonna throw something out there. I've contacted MMA. If this board does not require it, I'm going to require it because the ordinance requires it. And I have the authority to do that, which I don't like having to use. I think this board should require it.
Okay,
Yes,
then let's require a performance bond.
I'm on board with it.
Okay,
Well, so, I mean, if we have this, then maybe we should get council opinion, so moving forward, we know what we're.
I mean, it's kind of a moot point if either we require it or Patty's gonna require it. So. Or is the board willing to just let Patty do it?
I don't think
I
that,
don't want to do that, that's not.
Okay, yeah, it's within
Because
it's within our purview, we should probably do it.
Right,
Okay,
and it's in black and white.
yep.
I took an oath to uphold the ordinances. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do.
So I have a question.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
I said it's in black and white. It's right here in black and white, 13.6.
Yes.
So, a question for Patty. Do I need a permit to build that road?
no.
So I can build the road complete and then come to you with a certified paper from Sebago Technics saying it's complete. Would that take care of the performance guarantee? Because it's all going to be done.
So I
can't-
think the performance guarantee is to protect future buyers. If you walk away from this, for whatever reason, walk away from this project. There's many reasons why you don't finish the project. That would give the town the money to finish the project for those
Correct.
lots.
I agree with that. Yeah.
And what we're trying to do is trying to be consistent with all of our applicants, and we're requiring that for other applicants also. So to be fair, I think we're gonna have to require that.
Okay, but that wasn't part of the conversation when we got the approval for the
Initial approval.
subdivision.
No. But I think if,
Unfortunately, you came back and we have another bite at the apple.
So I reached out to a previous subdivision which you have a letter in your packet, I think. So we conditioned a previous subdivision with a subdivision road that he couldn't get any building permits until he provided a performance guarantee, which you have to build a road before you can get a building permit. So
Right.
that's kind of, I reached out to MMA on that. and said, can I require them to do a performance bond as they're building, now they've already started building the road, before your trigger on your conditional use, on the subdivision plan required it. And I can issue a stop work order on the road if they don't, which I don't want to have to do. I don't like being in this position. So it would have come up, Dave, whether you came in with this amendment or not, because I'm trying to make everybody,
Oh, I got you. Yeah, I guess my point is, I can't do anything with lot 5 or 7. I have to build a complete road before I can even do a house on either one of those lots. So my point was, if I go ahead and build it, I don't need a permit, as you said, to build a road, and I have Sebago Technics certify that the road was built to the standards, and it's complete, shouldn't be a guarantee needed. It's already done and certified. So it avoids going out and get a performance guarantee because I got to spend the money to do it before I can do anything. I can't get a building permit until the road's in. So,
I mean, just, while we're talking, I mean, he could have come in before he even done this application, and put a road in,
Yes.
and been all set. He would have been risking some of the lines and things went on, I guess, but he doesn't necessarily, it can also be a letter of credit as well, correct?
Yes.
yeah, there's options.
Yeah. So
letter of credit from the bank.
You could do a letter of credit from the bank. Yeah.
Bank, if that's easier.
We're not saying you're gonna renege on it, okay?
Like I said, I can't build anything until I get a road
I
in,
know.
so it's like, and I understand where you're coming from, and I agree with you that it's pretty vague.
Yes.
There ought to be some verbiage changes on
There
that.
should be, yes,
So-
yes. So, in lieu of performance bond, would you be willing to provide us a letter of credit?
Yeah, we can get that from the bank. I mean, it's
Yeah, okay,
saying that we're able to
Yeah.
do this with,
right.
our funds, so,
I mean, off the top of your head, what's it gonna cost to build that road?
too much.
I know.
Got that big knoll of ledge to get through first.
There's no ledge there.
Is that a letter of credit satisfactory for you, Patty?
The ordinance allows several different
Yes,
options
there's quite a few options in there.
that the Board of Selectmen approve.
Yep. So, it would.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a bond.
No,
Okay.
okay. Is there anything else from town staff? Okay, so quickly review, letter of credit or performance bond for Misty Lane, is it?
Misty Lane? Yeah.
Communication with the fire chief on the fire suppression status, either individually sprinkled fire pond or hydrant. And then communication with the fire chief also about the easement across from Duck Pond.
Yep.
Is there any other questions from the board? Any other issues? Okay, are we gonna do a site walk for this?
I don't think we need one.
I don't think we need to.
Patty, do you think we need to do a site walk?
I walk by it all the time.
You did one within the last year?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that should,
Okay,
Scott knows that quite well. He walked.
Yeah, I walk by it all the time.
yeah,
Look pretty good sight distance.
And when we did the site walk, you walked out that way.
I was on the other side of the stream. I was all good land on the 22 side of the stream.
okay. Is there anything you need from us? And you're fairly clear on what we're asking? Yep. And then we'll come back and do further review? Okay,
Piece of cake.
okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda is Monica Mukaus. I'll take a stab. Mukiza, representing Kamakarka Farm LLC for a housing sketch transmission, 95 Back Nippon Road, map 4, lot 48-A. Good evening.
Good evening. As mentioned, I'm here representing my clients, Tamaka family, and the objective is to create residential properties within their existing property over on Back Nippon Road.
Okay.
So I had requested to meet to better understand the requirements and needs from the planning board before we proceed, and just to understand better where to go from there.
Okay.
Do we have an application?
No, this is pre-application, a pre-application meeting.
Well, my initial thought looking at it is that it's just need to follow the subdivision guidelines. And then need to take a look at the housing dwelling units, the size of the dwelling units there. I think we have, lot ordinance is a minimum of 480 square feet of living space. You're at 9.5-foot wide trailers would not, well, units would not. Are you looking to do trailers, modular units?
So we're looking to do manufactured, it could be trailers or container homes.
They have to be a minimum of 580 square feet, large.
Sorry, say that again?
They have to be a minimum of 580 square feet,
Correct, yes,
living space. Okay?
noted.
480.
Excuse me?
480.
480? Okay, I'm sorry. Stand corrected.
I think there's also a difference between manufactured, I'm looking at Patty, manufactured homes and mobile homes.
There wouldn't be mobile homes. I don't think under the zoning it would allow for mobile homes.
Okay, like, so you're looking at manufactured home.
As in, yeah, so it'd be like container or prefab homes. So, container style homes.
Guess what's a container style home?
It's pre-developed and then you would just bring it on site.
So like a modular home where they just bring on the trailer and they put the pieces together.
That's right.
That's what I would consider as a modular home, modular unit. And then you had mentioned a container home, so I didn't know if there was something else.
Oh, no, they're about
The
the
one
same.
and the same? Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, some people make homes out of shipping containers.
They do.
That's one form of consideration for the housing.
Yes. Yeah, so I think, well, my opinion is that this needs to go underneath the subdivision, section 13 guidelines, because you're adding 5 units at once onto this particular lot. Is that how you interpret that as well?
Yep.
So, and I got, chapter 13 is pretty well spelled out on what you need to do.
We also have a checklist.
We may
Do you have a
have
Code
copy of
enforcement.
this? Do you have a
Checklist
copy
coming
of this
pretty-
No, I
checklist?
haven't gotten that yet.
Okay.
Can provide you, and that's basically what the information we'll need to
Okay.
proceed.
I would rather provide the whole Article 13. The checklist is, what do you call, condensed version of Article 13, so that
Something you
gives,
could probably put on the website anyway. just
Yeah,
for-
yeah.
you'll be responsible for all ailments of Article 13. Okay?
Are you looking to do this yourself? You're gonna hire a consultant?
I'm consulting on behalf of them and then would work on probably a container home business to bring the properties on the land.
What company do you work for? Again, you're so.
Oh,
soft to
sorry.
put it here.
Atlantic Capital.
At the Capitol?
Yeah.
What does your business do?
We consult on anything related to real estate within the greater Portland, Maine area.
So, okay. So you've done developments before?
Not in Maine, but in other cities. But we lived here prior, so we're just returning back and working from here.
So we've had applicants come before who try to do it on their own, and it's a lot. We've had realtors try to do it. It's
Right.
a lot.
You're gonna
Yeah.
need some professional
You're gonna need
engineering.
professional help to.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think I had connected with Patty and figured this would be the best place to start.
Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, so we do a sketch, once you have a preliminary plan meeting and answer all the questions. I don't know if you heard me earlier to the previous applicant, there may be sections of the ordinance that does not apply. Do not write just NA or not applicable. If you do, state why it's not applicable.
Sounds good.
Okay?
Heath, any questions?
No, I think it's a good idea, really, as long as it meets all the guidelines.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
There are other options to do as well. I mean, you have a regular subdivision where you need certain size parcels, and then there's cluster subdivisions, which it takes the same amount of land but you can have smaller lots, less infrastructure, road infrastructure. But then that other land becomes open space, so all those occupants. use that.
And that would still be the same requirements if we were to do a cluster, correct?
Yes.
There's some pros and cons to both ways. Just take a look at that.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Do you have any questions for the applicant right now?
No, not right now. There's a lot of work to do before I have any questions.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Awesome.
You all
Thank you so
set?
much.
Yep. Next on the agenda is, I'm not gonna try that, I'm sorry. Application for conditional use daycare, 288 Pease Road, map 9, lot 11-8.
Good evening. My name is Natasha Uwimana, and
Can
planning.
you say that again?
Natasha
Last name?
Uwimana.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll let you say it. I just want to try to remember it.
Yes.
Yes, okay, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
And I am planning to open a daycare.
Yep,
Operating hours are from 7 o'clock to 6:30 p.m. And we're planning to start with 12 children.
but what, can you say that, I'm trying to write this, the hours were what?
Operating hours are from 7 o'clock to
7 till
6:30.
6:30?
Yeah.
Monday through Friday?
Monday to Friday, yes.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's okay.
And 12 children?
Correct, for now.
Okay. Do you need additional help to have 12 children, or?
For now,
yourself?
just, yes, so we have 2 full-time employees.
Okay.
And 1 part-time,
And they're certified for childcare?
correct.
Okay. And this is going to be at your home, correct?
My parents' home.
Your parents' home, okay. Okay. Questions from the board? Now you're saying a modular unit, is this going to be separate from the house?
Yes,
So it's going to be new construction?
it will be a new construction, yeah,
And this is just going to be for the daycare?
correct.
Is it going to have plumbing, a kitchen,
No kitchen,
just plumbing?
just like
It'll have water, it will have
Prep area.
water, but no kitchen?
no kitchen, just a prep area,
Okay.
yeah,
Test pit data. too.
Yeah, so you're planning on doing a septic system?
correct.
Okay. Is this going to be on a concrete foundation?
They didn't think it's necessary,
They didn't think it was necessary.
yeah.
It's going to be on a concrete slab?
I think they say they're gonna put it on the blocks, like concrete blocks, but I'm not sure.
Is that,
I'd have to check the code. Sometimes,
okay.
depending on the size,
Okay.
They'll have to have hurricane ties, and that's hard to do without a slab, but it is
Yep.
possible.
Okay. You'll have to get a building permit from the town to erect the structure on your lot.
Okay.
And that'll have to meet the setbacks according to the town's ordinances. Okay?
Okay.
Parking, I think you had it on your plan, right?
Yeah, it'd be good to have a tax map showing their layout on the lot, the neighbors well. How it is in relationship to septic.
You access the property from Fog Brook?
Yeah,
Yes. Okay. Or Pease Road?
Pease Road.
Pease Road, excuse me, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Pease Road.
Scott, do you have any additional questions?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see a map of your layout, your neighbor's well, your neighbor's lot, where their well is located.
Okay. Do I need to ask the neighbors to provide for that, or?
No, that's up to you, you would provide. And you know where the well is, when you see the wellhead?
Yeah, for my parents or just the neighbors?
Both.
Both. Okay. I have one for my parents, but I can get one from,
Do you get along with your neighbors, I hope?
they're barely home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Now,
yeah, I guess my first thought looking at this is gonna be a pretty big, significant, this is like a business, but daycares are allowed and doesn't specify size of a daycare in residential zone, so.
okay.
I guess you don't own the property, so we should have something that you have permission to be doing this on the property before we go much further.
The owner signed the application.
Okay.
They did? Okay.
Yes, we asked her to do that, and that was done last week.
Okay. Is that sufficient for you for title interest
Yes.
in the property? Okay. Okay. You'll have to get a permit, approval from Department of Human Services, correct? You know that?
Yes. I wanted to add that the module was already licensed
Okay.
prior to being used
But we'll
here.
make a condition of approval for your daycare that you have a valid permit.
Not for mine, but for the previous owner, if that can be,
That you'll have to talk to them.
okay.
But we need from DHS approval for them, for you to have daycare on that property.
So DHS won't give her license until she gets a permit from us.
Right.
So we should condition it that when she gets her
Yes.
licensing, we get a copy of it.
That's where
Yeah.
I was headed.
Okay.
I was just telling her that.
Yeah,
You're aware of that?
I'm aware of
Okay,
that,
all
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have a septic design.
How detailed should we get with site plan?
Well, the one she provided is a start, but there's no dimensions.
No, there's no dimensions, there's no dimensions of parking. And I gotta look in the book and see how many children per parking space.
I mean, there are some dimensions. They're showing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces.
So for daycares, one space for every 2 children. She has 12 children, she needs 6 spaces.
Yeah, that's what they're showing on this plan.
So that doesn't count employees, just the children?
That's what the ordinance is.
You know, I don't think the kids are driving quite then.
So you said you're planning on 12, but now, how many are you planning to get eventually?
Well, it depends of the level. So for now, my level, I'm allowed to have 12 kids, and if I want to go up second level, I can have more kids. But for now, I just want to start with 12 kids and see where go from there.
And what's your age range?
Excuse me?
What's the age of the kids?
0 to 3 years for now.
0 to 3?
Yeah.
Are you looking to get training or certification for the next level anytime soon?
Correct, yeah.
How soon?
6 months.
6 months?
Yeah. We are allowed to get to the next level after 6 months of opening.
So after that, if you're gonna do more than 12, you'd have to come back to the board again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we should have some dimensions and neighbors
Yeah.
before we do a site walk.
You also probably need to talk to the fire chief to see if the building needs to be sprinkled.
I will
Okay.
definitely ask them.
Keith, do you have any comments at this time?
Not right this second.
Craig?
I agree, we need some building dimensions. 6 spaces, 12 kids, it looks, and we haven't done a site walk yet, but it looks tight for employees to park and parents to drop off and pick up according to what's on these 2 plans. So I'd
No
want to,
scale or anything, though, except in the parking lot's designated, but
so I guess I would like to see some dimensions on the building, their own well, neighbor's well.
setbacks to the property lines.
Yeah,
That's all
what's,
stuff that's all stuff she's gonna have to do to get a building permit.
right. Parking area. It's a 30-foot setback, and the parking is looks like the upper corner is pretty close to the property line. So I'm just wondering how much more you can really squeeze down in there, if need be.
There's no setback for parking.
No, there isn't.
How close is the addition to the existing house? Looks
And
like
if it's by scale, it's
there is no scale.
30, 60. I mean, from
Yeah.
here to there.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's 60 because the parking lot's 60 feet long.
Okay, yep.
It says the scale's 8 inches a foot.
Where did you see that?
It's on the second page.
It's not on this page.
On the bottom right of the second page. I do have a question. On here it says that there's gonna be, provide a
Okay.
total of 10 parking spaces, including 6 newly added spaces. So I only see 6 on here, so is there supposed to be 10?
There are already an existing parking,
A total of 16?
no, 4, for right now. So we're gonna add 6 more.
Oh, okay, okay.
And
Because
what
on
are
here,
we
there's
paying?
only 6 drawn, so,
Yeah, you should show the,
other 4 probably, right?
Yep.
Oh, we were
Yep.
told just to show the addition parking.
Any other additional comments? Staff, town staff have any comments at this time? No? Okay, do you want to, it's the board,
I think we should have dimensions before we do a,
okay, let's wait till we have a more complete application. And then, we'll schedule a site walk. Okay?
Sounds
So
great.
have you been writing anything down? Are you clear on what we're looking for the next time you come back? You know, measurements to your existing well, your neighbor's well.
I'm gonna get all that to her. I'll get all that list to her tomorrow.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect. Patty's gonna hook you right up. She's great.
She is really great.
Okay. Like Scott was getting at earlier, if you want to increase the number of children, the time to do it, unless you want to come back, the time to do it is now.
Okay.
Because you would basically need to increase your parking. I mean, are you going to go to 24? Or you don't know?
No,
You don't know?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that should be a handbill. But what I'm saying is if you do want to increase the number, you're going to have to come back in front of us and show additional parking on your plan. So if you're doing excavation work, or you're going to have equipment on site, it might be cheaper to put the additional parking in now, even if you don't use it initially. And then you can come back to us and say, I've added 6 more kids, here's 3 more spots. It's a minor conditional use amendment, and you can add additional children. That makes sense?
Makes sense. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, just take that in consideration.
Just, the septic is rated for 12 kids and 3
It is.
staff, yes,
So
so,
that's all they can have.
on this septic.
Yes, okay, so then you're limited to 12. Okay. Okay, we all set?
Yes,
Yeah,
thank
and
you very much.
if you talk to Patty, she can give you more of a detailed explanation of what we're gonna need from you. Okay.
Thank you.
Moving on, CEO report.
I don't have anything.
Okay. Approval of minutes from May 12th.
I think I had some comments. Yeah, just on page 2, last paragraph, maybe it's second paragraph, but where on the far right, it says Henry stated they would remove note 9 from subdivision plan. And he also stated, and they'll provide 2 septic reserve areas. Other than that, I was okay.
So he did say reserve areas?
Yes.
Yes.
What does that mean?
What do you mean?
Does it mean just the test pits? Because that's all they showed on there.
They should be showing, they were going to show 2 reserve areas for each lot.
Okay, let's see here.
I watched the meeting again tonight just to confirm, even there, wetland, Mr. Logan had agreed there'd be no problem to move note 9 and to show 2 reserve areas for septic.
Where was that again, Scott, in these minutes?
Bottom of page 2, be the third sentence up from the bottom.
Yeah,
I don't even see it.
halfway down. Middle, 3rd paragraph down.
Oh, I'm on the very bottom,
Oh, you are.
yeah. Third sentence up from the bottom.
Third sentence up from the bottom says, Henry stated they would remove note 9 from the subdivision plan.
Correct. And provide 2 septic,
Okay, that's, okay.
2 reserve septic.
But also it shows in the 3rd paragraph, Jim Logan, at the very bottom, Jim Logan stated the board would like you would suggest a conditional approval that we provide a plan back to the board with 2 spots shown on every lot. We will get that done before the signing of the final plan.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we are covered on that.
Yep.
Any other comments?
Yeah, then we had discussion about keeping note 9. Note 9 was that if they had one lot, then they could vacate the other one, which kind of,
Which they removed.
correct, which avoided the second. Yeah. So with those, with that edit, I would, I'll make a motion to accept meeting minutes.
Any other board members?
Second.
Motion by Scott, and a second by Craig to accept May 12th planning board meetings. Discussion? All those in favor? 4 with 1 absent. Approval of bills.
I have a bill this evening for $40.74 for the public hearing we had this evening.
That was for,
That was for the Todd Libby's School of Taekwondo.
okay.
Make a motion to accept it, pay it.
Second.
Motion by Scott, second by Craig to pay Portland Press Herald for $40.74 for public hearing ad. Discussion? All those in favor? Okay. Approval.
1 absent.
Got
Oh,
you.
excuse me. 4 with 1 absent, I'm sorry.
All right.
Communications. We received a notice from the town of Buxton Planning Board that there is going to be a subdivision built off of
Town of Gorham.
Town of Gorham, excuse me. Excuse me. The town of Gorham has received a letter or email from the town of Gorham notifying us that there's going to be a subdivision located in Gorham that accesses off of Deering Road, that accesses a portion of Buxton to get to Gorham. And you guys saw the sketch plan?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Do we want, I think there was talk in the meeting on the 16th of June, is that correct?
Yes.
Does the board, I think it's like what, is it 1,000 feet? That's
I don't even know if
in
it's that,
Buxton?
I don't even know if it's that much. It's just a right of way.
Right. Well, first of all, does the board feel that we need to meet with Gorham over this access across a small portable of Buxton to access Gorham? What is the board's feelings?
There aren't any lots in Buxton.
No.
I guess, do we know what Gorham's? We won't be doing any maintenance of it, I'm assuming.
Well, that's some of the questions that we want to ask. Is who's going to plow the Buxton end? Is there going to be a turnaround where the town line meets? In the Bucks,
Right. I don't know how that plow would,
yeah,
who plows it now over there?
I think we had a similar subdivision up on Churchill, which was proposed but was never built on.
Yeah.
I think there was some talk that they would rotate on a yearly basis plowing, but I might be completely wrong. But that's a question we would have for them, is whether, is there, I didn't see a turnaround depicted on the plan.
No, I did not either.
Is Gorham gonna plow, I mean, can Gorham legally plow in Buxton?
Because you only have maybe 50 feet
Right.
that's in Buxton.
That before you hit the subdivision?
Yeah. This is
what
Daring
George-
Drive right here.
Right.
You're turning off,
Right.
and you go 50, maybe 60 feet, and you're,
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Town lines are right there.
Yeah.
and you know what? It's a circle, so the town,
Well, so,
Who plows Daring Ridge out there now, Daring Drive?
okay.
I don't know.
I didn't know the scale of this, so it's showing around 50 feet.
I haven't scaled it, and
Yeah.
I bet
Yeah,
it's not.
I think you're right.
I
Yeah.
bet it's not scalable
Yeah.
off this plan.
Patty, what is your feeling? We don't need to get involved?
You either have to waive your right to meet as a joint, as two towns,
Okay.
or go to the meeting, or participate in the whole process.
How does the board feel? I'm inclined to waive our participation.
I'd be interested in, no, just how the plowing aspect would. I
Can we
mean, this
get-
part of Daring Road, does the town, can we find out if the town plows it? Daring Drive, rather?
No, it's a town road.
I know, but it also goes from Scarborough to Buxton. I don't know if it
You're
goes
right, they
back
go
into
to
Guam
Buxton.
or not.
Well, you're right, so the plow trucks are going
Right.
down the five corners, going down
Are they going
Portland
down?
Road into Scarborough, back into Buxton, and then over into Gorham. I think the end of it's in Gorham, isn't it?
Yeah.
The very end of the road is. Okay. Could
Patty,
we-
if we went to that meeting on the 16th, does that commit us to go to all of them? Or just to hear? It was like Scott, I'm kind of curious who's gonna, I don't
Yeah.
even know, I think Gorham, does Gorham plow Daring Drive? Might be,
It was at Scarborough, because Guam would have to go up 22 to get to Daring Drive. Scarborough's
if
the only
it's-
one that has direct access to it.
if it's 50 feet in, Buxton isn't gonna,
Well, is this gonna be?
Benefit
This is gonna be a town
from
road,
it.
correct?
We won't know until we see the application. I'm not available the 16th.
Oh, all of a sudden?
16th is what, a Thursday?
Monday.
It's a Monday? It's not when we meet?
No, we're meeting on June 9th.
Okay. All right, why don't,
I want to terminate our interest quite yet.
oh yeah, okay. So do we want to go on the 16th, at least test the waters, ask a few questions,
Hear it out.
hear it out, and then after
Decide
that,
from
if
that.
we don't think it's in the interest of the town or something that we should be concerned about, then
I
we
think
can,
that's fair.
Yeah.
we can ask to waive our participation.
Yeah.
We can at least hear what they've got to say.
I know the town of Scarborough contacted us about the church down here on Portland Road and 22, because they wanted to have it a wedding center or
Yeah,
something
wedding
like
venue,
that.
Yes.
And their access to their driveway is from Buxton. But it was such a small part of land that we decided not to participate with
That
Scarborough.
was a while ago, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
But now they're gonna build a rotary.
Yeah,
That was just a private entrance, it wasn't a public road.
correct.
But the town of Scarborough asked us to participate in their deliberations about that event center happening behind the church there,
Because the entrance was in,
because the
Town
entrance
of
is
Buxton.
in Buxton. But it was such,
That was off of Broad Turner.
right.
yes,
Yep.
yes,
It's just a private drive. You're
Yes.
talking here about a 50-foot section of road.
yes,
Road,
yes, yes, yeah.
a little more involved.
All right, so why don't you notify them that we will attend on the 16th? Can you please send us multiple reminders?
Multiple.
And they meet at, I think they meet at the,
Be careful what you ask for.
right, they meet at the municipal center at 7 o'clock, is it?
7 o'clock, yep.
Yep. Okay. And then I'm sure we can ask the town planner and the powers that be how the plowing and the logistics works.
Maybe you can find out from Kevin in the meantime? Because Kevin doesn't know, I'm sure he'll just call us.
Yes. I mean,
Counterpart.
are we, is town of Buxton responsible for 50 feet of road into the subdivision?
Maybe.
You have to pave it every 30 years.
Okay, we all set with that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, attendees may address the board on evening's business. Yeah, sure.
Yes, sir.
Please.
Just a clarification on when Jim Logan spoke, I heard you say 2 reserve areas, a total of 2. You're going to show 1 for the initial and then a reserve area.
Correct.
So there's not 3, there's not the initial and then 2 reserves.
No, the initial
A
and a
total of
reserve.
2 per lot.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the woman on Back Nipping Road,
Yep.
is that rural or is that residential?
It's rural.
Rural.
That's rural. So she wants to put 5 units in there?
Yep.
So she's going to have to commit 5 times size, 25 acres?
200,000 square feet per unit.
And there's 35 acres there?
38, yep.
38 acres?
So there's enough land, but will she also get to, I'm assuming she probably doesn't want to spread that all over the 25 acres. Still going to have 250-foot frontage? No?
No.
They could be kind of clustered together?
We're really in preliminary.
Okay.
Yeah, they just had on the sketch plane showed a drive coming in with a circle and
Yeah, I didn't see that, so.
Yeah, I can give you a copy of it if you would like, or Patty can give you a copy. It's pretty minimal.
And
They
I
got a
was-
lot of work to
But she
do.
was using the word container. I thought she was maybe talking about storage, shipping
Yeah,
containers,
yeah.
but no. These are going to be either site-built or modular?
We don't know.
Okay.
We really don't. It's really preliminary. We need more information from them.
Because another
I
avenue,
assume if you take enough 8 by 40-foot containers and you cut them up and stack them together, you can get your 480 square feet,
I guess.
I guess. I mean, I've seen it done before. I mean, it's,
But I mean, in this scenario, but, oh, no, you can't have a mobile home park in rural, can you?
out there.
Well, that's not an
Yeah.
option. Okay.
No.
That was it, thanks.
but stay tuned. There'll be plenty more questions.
Oh, God, yes.
Okay, anybody else to address the board? Okay, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn to a workshop,
Motion adjourned at 8:12 PM.
and that's to a workshop.
Second.
I have a motion by Scott, a second by Craig, to adjourn to a workshop at 8:12. Discussion, all those in favor? Be 4 with 1 absent. Good evening.
Oh, yeah, okay, these are